Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be going over my 4 journals I use for my reading tracking. This one is the one I use all the time. It has my monthlies and what I'm reading. So like currently it's October. I just filmed finishing up the first half of October. So this one is where I track the books I'm reading at the time, any readathons, and then what the book rating was, and then little stats inside, and then I put a little review on it. So let's go to one that actually has one. So like there's that was a reread, that. So that's just where I put like stickers and things I find that represent the book. And this is like my yearly one. It changes every year, so it's January, and then it'll finish in December, and that will be it for this journal. I have a bunch of videos on this one, so I'm not going to explain this one too much. And then I have these 3, which I have no videos on. This is the newest one, not as new, oldest one. So I'm going to start with my oldest one. This one, also a reading tracker. Let's see. Oh, usually I put the date that I started it in. I did not. Okay. Yep, right there. So this one I just track. I put a little book cover on the day I finished it, so you can see the years. I started it in 2021. It should last until 2034. Hopefully I'm still reading. Maybe not as many books. Probably should slow down a little bit. I've been going so crazy this year on it. But you can just see, like, I like to see the trend of like how many books I've finished that day throughout the years. So I'll just quickly flip. So I changed it. I didn't know if I wanted to keep track of the years or not, so that one's on top. This one is in the box but written differently. So I'm just gonna quickly flip through the pages and then update where I'm at in October, because I have 4 books I need to add. Actually, I think I have 5 books now that I think about it. Like March 1st and February 29th. There's a reason probably I haven't finished a book on that day, but like March 1st I've never finished a book on. A lot of days in March, no finished books, and then others. March 12th, I've consecutively finished a book on, or repeatedly, whatever the word is. So yeah, I'm gonna keep flipping. I love it when things like match up like that. Also, totally off topic, kind of, maybe. This is the beginning of the series, and this is the most recent one that came out this year, so 2023? Yeah, because in 24, 25. I think that's cool also, is to see like how far apart I'm reading the series or when they're coming out. That's another thing. I'll like go to put books in and be like, oh my gosh, I read that long ago, because it's a book that I vividly remember sometimes. Or sometimes I'm like, wait, I read that this year, because it feels like it was a long time ago. Things like that. June is where book reading tends to pick up because it's the summer. So almost every day has a book finished. July is kind of hit or miss whether I read that day. Oh, pretty good so far, actually. Yeah. And then August is usually my slowest month because of back to school. Yeah, it's pretty empty. September, it picks up a little bit, not much. It's bothering me. Also, all of the journals, all of them? No. These 3, the next 3, this one and the next 2 I'm going to go over, are all Archer and Olive. Okay, so this is where I left off. Let me grab my sticker book so I can update it. So that's where I keep these ones. And I'll need to reference this one. So September, finished on the 17th here. But do I have the boyfriend? Wait, I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend? No. So that's the one I need to put in. Where did I just put that? Oh my goodness. My tiny desk is not working with me today. And then I made this little reference thing, so if I don't know what day or what box I should put it in, this matches up with the year it's on, so I can line it up and know exactly where to put it, because we are currently, when I'm filming this, in 2025. They're all going to be right above that. That's what I use this for. Take it out for right now. Let's see, the next book was episode 13 on the 21st. So let's take this out. 21st, there we go. Oh my goodness, everything's falling out of my reading journal. Great, love that for me. There we go. Okay, whatever. 21st. There we go. And then episode 13. Alright, and then now we're into October. On the 3rd is, oh my gosh, more stuff is falling out. I can't right now. Alright, so I'm gonna put this way up there. Whoa, okay. What did I say? October 3rd, I think? Or September, October 3rd. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Alright, and that was the Starless Sea. And then the 4th. Alright, and then I have the 11th and the 16th. Okay. 11. Well, that's easy because it should just be the next spot. Yeah. Wow, I've finished a book on the 11th almost every single year. Not almost every year. Yes, every year. That's funny. What did I say? 11 and 16? Yeah. Alright. And I'm not going to finish today. Today's the 17th. I know I'm not going to finish a book. So I'm just going to move this over, put it there, put my little bookmark back there, and then keep flipping through. Oh no. There we go. Oh, there. Oh, I forgot a book there. I need to, oh, there's a couple actually. I need to go back and print out. So yeah, I guess if I don't print it out, I do write it in so I know I finished a book that day. I just need to go back and actually print them out. I just forget about it after I put them in here. Or like I'll flip through it and be like, oh, I need to print that out, and then close the book and completely forget. Oh, also, I don't think I mentioned it, but I did start numbering it because I like to reference like where I'm at compared to past years. So like if I go to this year, oh no, these little stickers. So like I know this was my 100th book this year. Sorry, I just sneezed a bunch. Whew, okay. This was my 100th book, but in past years I've been around 73, 74. So it's good to know how far ahead I am. Just because I like to. No real reason other than I like to know. Oh, I did get all the way to the end because I remember seeing those numbers. And then in the back, number of books read. So for each year, 2021 it was 82, 2022 and 2023. Oh no, 2022 was 100 books, 2023 and 2024 were 101 books. And then my favorite book for that year, I still have not printed out 2024 for some reason. And then, ignoring that, back here I have my stats for the year. So I can kind of compare how I'm doing compared to past years by month. So in January 2021, it was 6 books, 2022 was 5 again, and then 2024 was 11, and this year was 11 again. So January is kind of all over the place. There's no like consistency. The only one that's kind of consistent is June. It's between 11 and 15. I feel like that's small enough and close enough together to be consistent. Same with August. It's usually a small number. Surprised I got to 6 this year. Usually, I feel like 5 is a good number to hit. But yeah, so like August and June are my only two what I would call consistent months. Everything else is just kind of all over the place, depending on where I'm at that point in the year. And then back here is a read every day thing I track. And again, no real reason other than I like to track when I read books. So this is when I've finished a book. So I go through it at the end of the year. So I'll go through and like October 18th still doesn't have a book I've finished on. So, oh my goodness. October 18th is still blank. Yeah. So if I finished a book on that day, doesn't matter the year, I just color it in. My goal is to have finished a book on every single day of the year at some point. The closest one is June. There's only 3 days I haven't finished a book on in June. So maybe next year that can be like a mini goal I have, is to just try to hit those 3 days. I don't know. Anyways, that's that journal. I don't really have a name for it. It's just tracking every single book by the day. All right. Next one. This is my alphabet one. So again, this is an Archer and Olive one. You can tell because of the little ampersand. This one I started in May 2023. This one's my alphabet one because everything is alphabetized. So these are all my books that start with A. Once I read it, I color it in. The colors don't have any meaning other than it's the color marker I picked up at the time. I do try to update this at the end of every month, but sometimes I have a few books I miss. So I will quickly flip through these. But this is every book I physically own. Unless I've colored it in, then I might still own it. I may have given it away or donated it. This is also really helpful with my alphabet challenge that I do every year. Because if I need to fill in a letter, I can look here and be like, well, what book do I want to read that starts with that letter? And then know where to pick it out from. Q, only 2 more books. T, when I first did it, I alphabetized them all. But so many books start with T that it's kind of all over the place now. So there's a lot of pages of T. Because the U, V, W, nothing for X, a couple, or no, a little more. Z, nothing, and then I have numbers. And then in the behind those, I have a series tracker. I have not updated this one in a while, but if it's completely colored in, that means I finished it. If it's crossed off, that means I decided not to read it. Or like this one I DNF'd. I read the first one, did not feel like continuing. I don't know if that counts as DNF. I read the whole first book, just didn't feel like continuing this series. This one's kind of like, oof. And this is all, not all, most of the series books I own. Doesn't mean I've started them. So towards the back, they are ones I've started. But like Percy Jackson, I own the books, haven't read it. My daughter is reading them right now. So there's a few in here that I know I haven't even started that I own. All of them are almost all of the books in that series. Is there anything else in this one? No. That's it. Okay. So yeah, that's my alphabet book. Actually, I'm going to keep that out because I did go to the bookstore today, so I have 3 books I need to add to that because it was payday. Alright, this is, oh my gosh, I wish I remembered where I saw this idea from. It's tracks just kind of everything. I don't know how to explain this one. I do have tabs that tell me what each section is. Okay, so this one I just started this year, so started June 2025. So these are all, this is my physical TBR. Ooh, I need to update this also. This is every book I physically own. And do I have it up here? Yeah. So if it's colored in this color combo, it means it was from 2025. So these are the ones I've read. I also am pretty sure I need to add more books to this. I haven't updated this one in a couple of weeks. But just like my other books or my other reading journals, I do like to open it, flip through it randomly. So they do stay pretty up to date. Like Metal Slinger I got 2 weeks ago, I think. So it's been probably 2 weeks since I've updated this, which isn't bad considering I was out of town for a week and a half. So I left myself a lot of blank pages because I know my reading habit. Series tracker, this is series I've started. So, and again, this is color-coded in a different way though. There's my sticky note. So like right here, I don't think I have any pre-2021, so there's no pink. If I started it in 2021, there's the red books. 2022 is orange. 2023 yellow. 2024 is green. And then 2025 is blue. Just so I can see how long it takes me to finish some series. Like this one started in 2021. Finished it this year in 2025. That was all 2021. So I just color-coded it so I could see how long it's taken me or how quickly, because some series like these 2 I finished all this year. This one I finished all last year. Some I haven't picked up the second one in a couple of years. So this is just all of my series that I am currently at least 1 book in. I don't even want to know how many there are. And then just an extra page. That was a practice page. Audiobooks listened to. This one I know I haven't updated. It's just, I have to draw all the boxes and everything, and I just don't want to. So far these are the audiobooks I've listened to in 2025. That was probably June or July that I stopped tracking. Maybe August? I don't know. It's been a few months. I do need to go in and fix that. And then I know I listen to a lot of audiobooks, so I gave myself a lot of blank pages for that. Next are Kindle and ebooks. So not as many. I have not been picking those up. But these are the ones I've read this year, so the little box is the color for the year. Books I did not finish, so my DNF graveyard. These little stickers are from, I want to say Creating & Co. So I've only DNF'd 4 books this month, which is pretty good. I don't like to DNF. I like to kind of push through books. But if I know I'm not going to enjoy it, I do just put it down. Borrowed from the library. Oof, only 2. And I read them this year. Book box books. So my Book of the Month subscription that I have now canceled as of 2 months ago. I have a lot of books on my backlist though. And then Owl Crate, I canceled that one 2 years ago, I think. I don't even know. But those are all the books I still have that I haven't read from that subscription. The Fairy Loot Romantasy that started last year. Yeah, I haven't read one since I started this book. What was that? In June. So, I need to get on top of those. Those are just piling up. And then I did just start, I didn't write it on top, Afterlight subscription by Illumicrate. So this one I left blank because I know I'm going to keep going with Fairy Loot. And then my Afterlight, if it continues, I'll go up this way and kind of merge them over here somehow. Anyways, I've had 1 month of Afterlight, so that's that book pick. Blank just in case of another subscription I add. At least a year. And then book stats. So just my yearly tracker. if I have the statistics for it, because 2021 was my first year really tracking books, so all I have is the books read, nothing else. 2022 I tracked a little more, but I wasn't tracking physical audio or ebooks or anything like that. 2023 I didn't track DNFs. Same with last year, did not track it. They've only been like 1 or 2. But physical books, audio, ebooks, and then the star ratings. Book length, it's the tiny boxes. I put a sticky note in so I know the last book I updated this with. So I can see my most common one is between 351 to 400. The ones I thought I read the most of when I made this, I left 4 spaces because I would need more room. Repeat authors, so authors I either own multiple books from or want to read from more. So if I read it, it's colored in, obviously. If it's a series, there's little numbers below it, and it's colored in if I read it, not colored in if I haven't, or dotted over. Let's see, where's one? So like this one, I've read all of them, so then I blocked the series off. Same with this one. So there's a few where I've read part of the series, but not all of it, so the little box isn't colored in. This one I haven't updated either. All right. And I have rereads. I don't know how accurate some of these are because some of them I read so long ago. But like Twilight, pretty sure I read it when it came out, and then I've read it. There's another time in between, I just don't know when, so I just didn't put it in. Court of Thorns and Roses I've read 3 times. Court of Mist and Fury 3 times. These ones I've only read once, but I might read them again, so I left the space just in case. I didn't even write the first time in. I need to go back and do that. But I left more room in case there's other books or series. Actually, I am currently in the middle of rereading. What is that? Blood and Ash, from Blood and Ash, that one. So I need to put those in here. Alright, and then flipping back. Failed TBR. This one I was keeping in my reading journal, my yearly one, but I decided to move it here because I can just add it yearly as I go. And then if I read it, I just cross it off. So I read Into the Water this year, so I crossed it off. There's so many from 2022 I still haven't read. 2024, not so bad. And then at the end of 2025, anything that was on my TBR, so like when I say my TBR, I mean like written down on my TBR, anything that's left unhighlighted will go here at the end of the year. Because like, let's see, let me find a month where I didn't, so like this month I didn't read Blood on Her Tongue, but I did end up reading it, I think in August. Yeah, so that one wouldn't count as a failed TBR because I did end up reading it within the same year. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. And there's only a few pages left, so if I need to add something else, I have the room, but not much. That's it. Alright, and that is all 4 of my reading journals. 1, 2, the big chunky one for the year, and then the 4. I don't know the sizes. This one I know is 8x8. The other ones, I'm not sure. I think this one's called a Traveler's Notebook. Couldn't tell you the other 2, size-wise. Oop, quarter. But I mean, you can see them, I guess, next to each other. Those are all my journals that I use for reading on a regular basis. If you have any questions, ask them down in the comments. If not, thank you for watching. That was a lot of talking. Hopefully I didn't flip through them too fast. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast because I do have a tendency to do that. I'll make sure I put closed captions on, so if I talk too fast, you can read it, I guess. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.